This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and Matt Allen is out. So today I am your KTAR car guy. Bumper to Bumper Radio is heard here every Saturday from 11 to noon. And at Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car repair experience. So if you got car questions, I guarantee you I got car answers. So I encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, a little bit of fact and fiction, of course, open phones and text. You can also text us at 411-923, and the phone number is 602-277-5827. And auto body. You know, auto body is one of those things that you're going to have to get involved in regardless if you want to or not. It's going to happen. Now, it's not as common as, you know, needing a water pump on your car or a transmission. Hopefully, transmission is not that common either. But auto body repair. So I've got Kevin from I-17 Collision, who is part of Bumper to Bumper Radio and our referral network. And Kevin is here to help us with auto body. Good to have you here, Kevin.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me in.
I was just looking on your website. You are a AAA. You're one of 3 AAA top shops for auto body in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, it happened again this year. My crew pulled it off one more time, 5 years in a row. One of 3 shops in the state that get the nod to be a AAA top shop. So yeah, we're grateful, man. It's pretty neat.
That's awesome. A lot of people don't know this, but I worked for Kevin a long time ago when I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. I was his detailer at the auto body shop he worked for way back then.
Washing cars.
He told me how to get the overspray off the paint. He taught, he gave me the clay bar and he gave me the super sauce and he said, you got to get the overspray off these cars.
Keep working it, Dave. Quit crying and just get at it, man.
Man, my hands were raw. You literally had to do these little circles on the paint with this little piece of clay until you get it all off.
Oh yeah.
Is that the way it's still done?
Yeah, we still use that, and thankfully we try to minimize any overspray coming out of the booths, but it happens from time to time. So yeah.
Well, I just had a bunch of repair. I had bought a Nissan Xterra. It's a 2014, I think. I know I should know that because I'm a car guy, but I hardly know that. And it had some scratches on it and stuff like that, and it was really bothering my OCD because they were right on the driver's side on the door, and I'd walk by, and the car is almost perfect. It's got 50,000 miles on it, but those scratches. I lay in bed and just wrestle my head back and forth thinking about those scratches. So I literally had them fixed. And I didn't go all the way up to I-17 Collision because you're the other side of the valley from me.
Oh, we are on other sides of the world from you, for sure.
But I had those fixed, and I was asking Kevin before the show, how often do you see people that aren't in a wreck and maybe just have a little this or a little that? I mean, you guys fix that kind of stuff?
We do it all. Yeah, I do quite a bit of business with people just wanting to touch stuff up. Cars getting older, but it's almost paid off. They want to make it look, their OCD is getting to them. So, and they need to just get her touched up a bit, And some of them are small, little bumper jobs are reasonable, and some of them are bigger. It just depends on how crazy they've been with their car. So.
I know if you're out there and you're listening and you've got OCD like me, this just rung a bell for you, and you're thinking about that scratch on your bumper because you cut it too close.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That kind of scratch.
Catch it on the garage when you're pulling out.
Or maybe you've got the rear view mirror that's being held on by clear packaging tape. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah. Plenty of times.
Those things can be fixed, and it doesn't necessarily cost a fortune. I mean, body work can be expensive, but it's not a fortune. Or maybe the other thing you got going on is you got those headlights. It's a great car, but those headlights are so darn yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing I hate about the fact that they went away from glass headlights. They got these plastic headlights, and
they go amber on you, and they'll last only to a certain point before you need to swap them out.
I think 5 years is about the turning point.
Yeah.
And I know there's some kits and stuff, and you can buff them up and make them shine, but
that only lasts about a year, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just a short-lived thing.
Yeah.
So the other thing that comes up is when it comes to auto body for me, because I've been in an accident or somebody's hit my car and I got to call the insurance company, and immediately they want to say, oh, yeah, you need to go over to this body shop. Or what zip code are you in? These are the body shops in your zip code that you can go to. But that isn't necessarily the body shop that you want to go to.
Exactly.
And so I want to let people know that because you're in the process. It's frustrating. You got in an accident. who's got time for an accident? No one's got time for an accident. And it seems like a reasonable solution, but are all body shops created equal?
They are not. They are not. It's one of those things where, like you said, you get in a wreck. It's not a good day. It's not a good day for anybody. And, the car will, just either go to police impound when it tows off. The process all happens pretty quick because they need to get it off the road. The car goes somewhere. The insurance, you need your car back on the road. So it all funnels through pretty quickly. But consumers need to know that, their insurance companies may have contracted shops, but they have a choice where they can take it.
So, so you may want to, there's, and I always say this about, auto shops. There's all kinds of people who fix cars, and maybe some that shouldn't be fixing cars.
Yep.
And I imagine the body business is exactly the same way. And once in a while, we'll see. We're doing mechanical work on a car, and we take a look up, and we're like, I'm not a body guy, but that doesn't look legit.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. And so, you can shoehorn something back together, or fix it with a cleaver. Mm-hmm. But and you may not see it, and maybe it looks okay to you, but at some point you're gonna have to sell that car.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody with a different set of eyes might pick up on something. It's one of those things where, from big shops to dealerships to little independents, that kind of thing, it all comes down to who is doing the work and who is managing that shop. The processes that they have in place to do good quality work, use good materials, and give you value for the repair dollar that you're getting. It's my crew's been with me. Gosh, Xavier, my manager and partner down at I-17 Collision, has been with me for almost 17 years now, and we have an involved owner and an involved manager that's been there a long time. So, we're not perfect. Things go wrong once in a while, but what we do is we do consistently great work and have great people and great process.
And I know you as being perfect, but if I talk to your wife, she may have a different opinion.
Oh, she's got a way different story than that.
But I-17 Collision is one of the body shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio, and they're just a carte blanche referral for Matt and for myself because I've had cars personally taken up to I-17 and fixed. Yeah. And on Bumper to Bumper Radio, you'll find body shops, and there's two. There's First Class Auto Body, which is in Scottsdale, and then I-17 Collision. But what I thought was really cool, Kevin, is I've got a friend that is probably the pickiest customer in the world, and I hope he's not listening. And so I'm sorry, Ron, if you are listening.
Oh, they went the name.
And he calls me up. He says, "You got a good referral for a body shop? My mom, she's older. She probably shouldn't be driving. She hit something." Yeah. And I said, it's kind of a far shop from where he's at. I-17 Collision, but honestly, they'll probably pick the car up and bring it to him. And you guys did. You guys went, picked the car up, took it back to your place, fixed it, did a great job on it, and he was happy. And if you can please Ron, you're doing a good job.
There you go.
You're doing a good job. So that was I was really happy with the way that came out because I take my referrals seriously. So
you have to.
If I put my name on it, it better go well. And if it doesn't go well, then I got to get involved in it. And I've never had an issue, really, for that matter, with any shop on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Oh, so, great community of shops on Bumper to Bumper.
For sure. So what is the statistic, Kevin, as far as getting in a car accident?
Once every 7+ years is the idea that's out there. So it's, Arizona's a bit of a transient state. So by the time you get in your next wreck, you may not even be in the same neighborhood or in the state anymore. People come and go a bit. So
right. So so if you're on the phone with the insurance company and you've got an accident and something's got to happen, they may give you a list of 5 shops. Yeah. It may not necessarily be the shop you want to go, and they could be great shops. I'm not saying they're not.
Yep.
But it is good to have a shop like I-17 Collision. Just write it down in your little book in your glove box. The book you go to that has your insurance car, you just write on there I-17 Collision.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Dave.
I knew you would like that. I knew you would like that. But sometimes, and I use, there's a home show on before us.
Uh-huh.
And, I got to put insulation in my attic. I know if I go to the phone book, what am I going to get?
Yeah.
So I go to Rosie on the house, and I look up insulation guy because I know if it doesn't go well, I'm just going to go talk to Rosie, and it'll get fixed. But it went perfect. And that's the same thing with Bumper to Bumper Radio or with a body shop for that matter. You can go to bumpertobumperradio.com. There's other information. Not only is there a list of great shops that you can go to, whether it be transmission or auto body or just regular repair, but also there's information on there. I was looking on there today, and David had put up an article about best way to sell your car.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of things that come up. So the other thing when it comes to auto body is I see these cars where people get a little scratch on the bumper where they cut a little close going to the garage. I think if you take care of that stuff, you keep the value in that car, and you're proud of that car, and you like that car. And keeping a car rather than getting a new car every 3 years because you wrecked it because you didn't take care of it,
yeah,
you're going to have more money in your back pocket. You know, and sometimes that's what we're talking about in this show. If you don't take care, you can buy the nicest car in the world and go park it in the ocean. That's not good for it. You know, so if you take care of that car, and if you get a scratch on it, go fix it. You know,
Yeah.
But like you're talking about, if someone puts off, oh, that ding, we'll just let that go. Oh, there's another ding. Oh, you know, the window in the back's being held up by duct tape. We'll let that go. Just fix them as they come.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, it'll be a softer, more manageable repair expense-wise, and you know, you'll let stuff go, and then all of a sudden you've got quite of an investment going into just getting it back to where it should have been. So.
And I see cars that have 50,000 miles on them, they're jalopy.
Yeah.
You know, and I see cars with 150,000 mile, and they're a cream puff. I mean, they're clean one owner. So, I mean, I think, you know, one of the biggest ways you can burn money is on cars.
Yes.
You can burn a ton of money on cars. I mean, sales tax on a new car is $5,000.
Yep.
So,
ouch.
And that just goes to the government, you know, or your neighbor for that matter. But
yeah.
But anyhow, so when we come back, we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. I've got Mike, Deb, and Max in lines for more. You're listening to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio. Matt Allen has decided to take a weekend off. You know, he's taken a lot of weekends off this summer. Not that I'm bitter, but yeah, okay, I'm bitter. I'm absolutely bitter about that.
The Italy trip. It was beautiful.
He was gone for like 5-6 weeks, and he comes back and he goes, I'm going out of town again. I'm like, come on, man.
What a way to go.
And the only reason is I love being here every Saturday. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. But I go mountain bike riding before the show, and I do it, and it's kind of dangerous what I do. And if Matt's not going to be there, I got to be safe. You know,
That's
because
right.
if I'm in traction, I can't come do the show. So.
Yeah, Carrie will have to give me a call. It'll be Body Shop Day again.
Body Shop Day down here at Bumper to Bumper Radio. So, by the way, if you have a body shop question, maybe a question about how to wash your car, maybe a dent, maybe what you think you should do, you know, today's a good day to call about that. But if you have anything related to your car, 602-277-5827. I've got Kevin with I-17 Collision. I-17's been around since 1988.
Yeah, it's been around a long time.
That's a long time. So you guys aren't going anywhere, I guess.
We're not. No, we've been around almost 30 years, so I think we've got a few more left in us.
Almost got it figured out. So anyway.
Yeah, maybe we're doing one or two things right.
For sure. We're going to go with Deb in Mesa. She's got a Ford F150. Let me see which button. Matt usually does this, so let's see if I hit the right button. Hey, Deb, are you with us?
Yeah. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. What's going on with your F-150?
Okay. Well, it's a 2000. I bought it like 3 years ago, something like that. I had a mechanic check it out completely before I bought it. The engine was replaced, I believe, the year before I bought it. I've had just the intake manifold replaced. And recently, when we had our torrential rain, the engine was sputtering and the check engine light came on. I had it happen last year, same situation with the monsoons. Used some sea foam in the tank, and it seemed to resolve the situation. But I'm curious as to how the heck that would happen.
You know, I don't know that. How many miles is on your F-150, by the way?
Well, it's got about 270,000, but I believe that's original miles. So, like I said, the engine was replaced probably 5 years ago, I think.
Well, the engine may have very well been replaced, but not always do they take care of things like that. That's a coil over, so the coils are on. There's one coil on each and every spark plug. And when they do an engine, they don't necessarily replace everything. So if the coils are good, they may just put the coils in the next motor. But one of the things I think about when you get sputtering and check engine lights, and I don't know, did the check engine light actually flash or just come on?
It just came on.
Okay. So more than likely, if we were to scan that thing, to see what was in there. There more than likely is a misfire code in there. So what happens when it rains? A lot of the misfires start to show up. So the sea foam is a good thing, for to get stratifying water and gasoline. It works actually pretty good for that. But I'm not sure they are related because you get a little bit of moisture in the air. The humidity is really high, and that those ignition parts like to break down during that time. So by the next day, it's dry out and it's drying out. Sunshine came out. And so that may have gone away. So I'm not sure if the seafoam was really the fix or if it was a little bit of the placebo, and it may very well have been. But that's what I'm leaning to is maybe ignition components, that type of thing. But if you get that thing to a shop and they scan that thing, they're more than likely going to find a misfire code, and that's just a wild guess because I'm just sitting here with a microphone in front of me. But chances are, I think that's the case. Thanks so much for the call, Deb. 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Mike in Mesa. He's got a 2013 Honda Civic. How can we help you, Mike? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi. I just wanted to find out, it's when I push the gas on a regular street or get on the expressway, it seems like you're going uphill. You just don't have the push or get up and go. So I don't know if there's an engine additive that you could use for that. And then the second question I had is, I'm in the East Valley, like Mesa, almost Apache Junction, if there's a dealer that you know of. I mean, a repair person that I can go to around here.
Have you owned that car since new, Mike?
No, I bought it with 9,000 on it from a dealer.
How many miles are on it now?
124.
124,000 miles. Have you done anything as far as like tune-up work, spark plugs, valve adjustments, that kind of stuff?
Usually when they recommend stuff, I've been working with the dealer. I've been getting their services, so oil changes, trans. I think we did a spark plugs already once.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like this. You're talking about going uphill, and I talk about getting out of bed every year with my customers. I say, I get out of bed slower this year than I did 10 years ago. That car was peppy when it was new, and now it's got 110, 120,000 miles on it. It is starting to get a little wear. It's not going to be as peppy as it used to be, but these cars are made so well. If you keep up on the maintenance of them, and that's one of the things we're talking about, like the body shop, you get a scratch, take care of the scratch, because you get a lot of cumulative wear. A little bit of neglected maintenance here, a little bit of neglected maintenance there starts to add up, and next thing you know, the car doesn't feel so good to you, and it's kind of missing that pep or that. It's kind of like a can of soda. You can crack it open and set it on the counter. If you go drink it 6 hours later, it's still going to taste like Coke, but it's not going to be so good. So that's some of the maintenance items, but I'm going to recommend Stan at Mesa Auto Works to you. They're out there in the East Valley. And bring your receipts to Stan and say, these are the things I've done. And he's going to look and see that, yes, in fact, they did do spark plugs, and, yes, they did do a valve adjustment. Some of that stuff, when I think of Hondas, I think of valve adjustments because a lot of times they don't get done. And so that definitely – and that's one of the cars, like these CRVs, and they get a lot of valve problems. So Honda Odysseys, keep the valves adjusted. A lot of cars, you don't have to do valve adjustments, but Honda is one of them. So anyhow, we're coming up on break, but I'm going to sneak in Max from Gilbert. He's got a 2012 Infiniti. Let's see. How can we help you, Max? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, I'm sorry. I said 2012. It's a 2006 FX35 Infiniti with 120,000 miles.
Hey, I liked you more when it was a 2012. We'll go with that. That's a joke.
I am looking for help with the door opener. The door flings shut on any small incline, and then also the seatbelt retractor.
The door slams shut? I'm sorry, I kind of missed that.
On the ramp, on a incline, the car door will not stay open.
Okay. All right, and that's an excellent body shop question, Kevin. I think I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, usually, would that be the driver's door that it's happening on?
It's actually the driver's door, also the passenger door, and the back doors.
Okay. Usually that's what they would call a check strap. It's the actual the part that actually bolts actually to the door post and actually to the door. There's a stop in there that's a safety stop that does wear out. It's a common thing, especially on the doors that are used most heavily. So.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's one of the things as these cars get older is that how many times in 10 years that car's a 2000? Well, he said 2006. That's 11 years old. I mean, how many times is that door open and closed? And Max, you had another question there, and I missed that.
The seatbelt retractor.
Okay, on the driver's seat?
On the driver's side seat, the seatbelt retractor does not retract.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be just typical wear and tear, and it's something where you're going to want to get that seatbelt replaced.
Yep.
Any of the shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio, I see you're in Gilbert. You know, we've got Desert Car Cares in Gilbert. Another shop that's out in that Chandler-Gilbert direction is ADS, Automotive Diagnostic Specialties. Greg and his crew do a great job out there, but that's stuff that just kind of wears out, and it's just it's one of those annoyance things. And Kevin, this happens all the time. People come in for a transmission repair, and we have to roll the window down and open the door from the outside because the inside door handle is broken.
Yep.
Yeah, Kerry raised his hand. and so as a little cherry on top of the repair, we'll fix that for them because they've been putting up with it for years.
Yeah.
That would hurt my OCD. Anyhow, when we get back, we're taking calls at Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection, a $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Looking for that last perfect getaway for summer? Look no further than Bunker to Bunker, the golf show's next tour stop at the spectacular JW Marriott Desert Ridge Resort and Spa on Saturday, August 26th, benefiting Phoenix Children's Hospital. An incredible value. The two-person scramble on the famous Faldo course is loaded with special prizes, lunch, and a coupon for another round of golf, all for just $85. Make it a stay-and-play weekend with room specials starting as low as $89 per night. Space is limited, so register today at bunkergolf.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
KTAR-FM, Glendale, Phoenix. KTAR News on 92.3 FM. Arizona's news station.
KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. How dangerous is the situation with North Korea? ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz explains.
The North Korean missile traveled farther than any missile they have ever launched. The ICBM airborne for close to 45 minutes before splashing down in the Sea of Japan.
In response, the U.S. and South Korea are firing short-range missiles into the Sea of Japan over concern that Pyongyang could now hit the U.S. mainland following North Korea's latest missile test. Iranian state TV reporting a parliamentary committee on national security and foreign policy is in an urgent meeting to review its response to a package of sanctions leveled at Iran by the U.S. Senate. The Saturday report says Deputy Foreign Minister and senior Iranian negotiator Abbas Araghchi said that the U.S. legislation amounts to a hostile breach of a landmark 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and world powers. It now goes to President Donald Trump for signing. Now let's get a check on traffic. Here's Mike Daniels in the KTAR Traffic Center.
Well, thanks, Tom. Loop 101 northbound McKellips Road, crash block in HOV lane. Checking the ADOT cam. Tow truck is on scene, so they should have that cleared shortly. A wreck in Goodyear, 10 westbound at Litchfield Road, crash off left right next to the center divider. And in Sun City West, an accident, Happy Valley Parkway, east of the Loop 303. This report brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call today to find out about guaranteed 10% growth on your retirement with a 10% upfront bonus. Call 480-990-3300 for more information. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Cloudy with a slight chance of rain today, 100 the expected high. Right now, 98 degrees in Anthem. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Whether you're a lifelong dirt road driving, tackle box toting weekend warrior or an outdoor lifestyle rookie, from the desert to the mountains of our great state, Mike Russell has the outdoors in Arizona covered. This afternoon at 1 with Get Outdoors. Only on KTAR News 92.3 FM and streaming live on the KTAR News app.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TricityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and today Matt Allen is off again, and I promise you I'm not bitter. That's not true. You can hear the lie coming right through my voice. I am lying. I am bitter about it. He's been gone a lot this summer. It hinders my mountain biking, Matt. I know you're listening. He's driving to San Diego right now. Car full of kids. You know, I wonder if he took his car to the shop just yesterday to get the oil changed. That's what everybody does when they're going road trip. Change the oil. Okay, as long as it makes you feel better. So anyway, I've got Kevin with I-17 Collision in with us. Kevin is one of the network shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio. And let me describe what Bumper to Bumper Radio is. It's a show, car show, radio show. We're here to help you ease anxiety when it comes to auto repair, put you in the know so that when you go to the auto shop, it doesn't all sound like wah, 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 wah. So that's what the show is about. But at the same time, Matt and I, we're passionate about the industry, and he and I are always learning more, how we can do a better job. And we surrounded ourselves with some really great shops, people that we call up when we got questions and say, hey, what would you do about this? Or how would you help this customer? And that's what goes on at Bumper to Bumper Radio. So there's a whole plethora of shops that you can find at bumperradio.com. And especially if you're like an orphan customer. And so you go to whatever shop you've got a coupon for that week. That is not a good way to service your car. You know, that's how you take a car and you ruin it just because it's like taking your kid to a different pediatrician. You know, you got to get the doctor that knows your kid, you know, and kind of knows, well, he's got that kind of that whooping thing, but we're just going to let that slide for now or whatever's going on with it. And so one of the things that, because it's only every 7 years that you're going to be in a car accident, hopefully never, you know, but it may come up. It's just part of life. You're going to need a body shop. You can go to bumpertobumperradio.com. You can find shops like I-17 Collision. We also got First Class Auto Body, which is in Scottsdale, and they do a great job. And I've had
Dave, great shop.
Dave do some work for me over there, and I have another really picky friend across the street, Vinny.
Oh,
I sent him
another one.
I sent him. All my friends have OCD. Apparently, I hang out with these people.
You guys have a club or something?
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
So anyway, so that's you know, if a gentleman called earlier, he was in the East Valley. He's been going to the dealership, but maybe he's thinking about something different. And Mesa Auto Works. I mean, that's a family that has been in this valley practicing auto repair. You know, they're on the third generation over there, and so you're going to a good place, and those are places that Matt and I would send you carte blanche. Go down there, and they'll take care of you. And not only are they friendly, they're competent, and they do a great job. So, Kevin, we got to get to the phones.
Yes, we do.
About 5 lit up here. We've got, looks like Les, Vince, we've got Brandon and Doug, and one I cannot pronounce. I think it's spelled wrong, possibly. She's smiling at me. So Bree does a great job. You know, she's got to work dials and answer phones at the same time, so I don't want her job. Thanks, Bree. We're going to go with Brandon in Phoenix. He's got an 08 Range Rover, and I'm just going to apologize in advance. I'm not a Range Rover guy, but maybe I can help you. What can we do for you, Brandon? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you. I've got
Morning.
a couple questions, a couple of quick ones. I'm going to hit both of you because I got a mechanical question, I got a body question.
Sweet.
The first one is, of course, I got the air shocks going out, and I'm faced with the question, do I go with the factory Range Rover air shocks, or do you go with the aftermarket Arnott's that I can get done for probably half the price? Do you have any input on that?
You know, I don't, because I don't personally have experience with that. What part of town are you in?
I'm way up in Anthem.
Way up in Anthem. Okay. You're going to want to, I mean, and I see this come up from time to time where, you know, some of these fancy luxurious items, when they do break down, and that's the thing about driving a luxury car, it's like when it breaks, it's going to be expensive. You know, and so anytime you go away from what the factory put on there, you're going to lose something. You know, that thing went through R&D of Range Rover, and they put on there what makes the car sweet, you know.
Right.
And so if you go changing something, you're going to lose some sweetness, you know. So I guess you're going to have to weigh it out between what are you going to save and how much sweetness are you going to lose, and that's going to be a little
and how much longer I'm going to have the vehicle also, I guess, is what I got to look at.
Yeah, that plays into it too. And the other thing too, when you get rid of the vehicle, if you got to start to give them a little bit of asterisk, well, I replaced the air suspension with something else, you know, or I did this or I did that, you know. How many miles are on your Range Rover?
116.
Okay. How many more years do you think you want to keep it?
You know, probably at the max one more.
Okay. And is the air suspension in really bad shape, or what's it doing?
You know, it's the airbags up front. They're the ones that always go, and it typically is the driver's side. And we started to hear the hissing noise, and I could kind of feel the compressor running. And so I've stuck my hand up there and turned the wheel, and sure enough, there's a pinhole, and it seems to get worse and worse. And I don't want to burn the compressor up.
Right.
So I started to get things priced out, and they started to offer me the aftermarket shocks. And they go, yeah, there's a 2-year warranty. Oh, they're just as good. And I said, well, let me look into this a little further.
Well, Matt's not here today, but I know that every time I go to Matt's shop, there's a Range Rover in the bay. You know, so he would if he was here, he would know what to do. So he'll be back, I think, next week. I think. Okay. He takes a lot of time off. No, but no, he does do a great job. I'm just teasing him today. But call Virginia Auto Service. If Matt's not there, talk to Tim, talk to Pascal, talk to Robert. Yeah. Any of those guys will be able to walk you through that because I'm sure they've done the conversions. I'm sure they've tried different things, and they'll have more experience with it than I do. Most of my stuff is just going to be feel good stuff that I'm going to tell you, but those guys know the real answers. So you said you might have an auto body question for Kevin.
Yeah, just like you, I lose sleep at night over little nicks and scratches with cars, and it's in impeccable shape. It's my wife's, and the interior's just, the leather's great, and the outside's great, and it's this Java black, and you can see your reflection. It's just beautiful. So we have a scratch on the side that's a light. I don't know if someone keyed it or if my microfiber cloth might have had debris in it when I was cleaning the car. So because it's so hairline that I don't want to do it myself. I YouTubed it, and also on the front hood, I have that road rash. And so I was just curious, is there a cure for that? It's these little speckles all over the hood. Is that a repaint of the hood? What am I looking at with that?
Yeah, Brandon, usually on the hood, that'll be just being up in Anthem. You guys are probably doing a lot of up and down the 17, that kind of thing, I'm guessing. Primarily, those are usually rock chips, and the only way to take those out would be a ground up. You'd be sanding them down to the metal, and more expensive. If you're only looking to keep the car a year, if it were me, I'm not sure if Dave would say the same thing because he's so OCD. But,
I roll in my bed at night thinking about scratches.
But if you're only keeping your car, it's just one of those cost to benefit type of things that you need to look at to get those done because usually the bumpers and the front part of the fenders have got them on there. And if you want to have it right, it's labor intensive and it could be costly. So like you said, with just wanting to sell that thing in a year, just look at that. And as far as a scratch on the side, can you feel it with your thumbnail when you're kind of like just scratching up and down on it?
Slightly, yeah.
Slightly. Usually that will be. Sometimes those can be color sanded and buffed out, but sometimes that would need to be a repaint. I'd recommend, if you can't live with it, have a body shop look at it. We'd like to look at it for you down at I-17. We can give you our best judgment if we can see it in person on that one. So.
And that's what I went through with my car, Kevin, is that some of the scratches, that's exactly what he did. Aaron, he scratched them. He's like, yeah, that one's through the paint.
Yep.
Oh, and this one over here, yeah, we can sand it and work with it. And they handle each scratch a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
This one they painted this panel, they blended this panel, and they used a whole bunch of body shop jargon. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then over here they did a little touch up, and then they just cleared the heck out of it. Several coats to make it go away or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Good try. Yeah. What you said.
What I said. So you won't find me working in a body shop. Although I did work for Kevin, all I did was wash cars and get the overspray off the rest of the paint. So that's my experience. Thanks so much for the call, Brandon. 602-277-5827. We are going to go with Doug in Sun City. He's got a 2015 Mitsubishi Mirage. How can we help you, Doug? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic.
I have a couple questions for you. I guess I got the car secondhand. It had about 21,000 miles on it. We've put about 15,000 miles on it, and we love the car. My wife's got a big commute, and obviously it gets great gas mileage and does exactly what we want it to do. But with that CVT transmission, I'm wondering whether I need to consider a service contract on it. And in general, I wanted to get what your position is and your opinion on aftermarket service contracts, if they're worth the money or not. And also, I wanted to know, with that CVT, other than just changing the transmission fluid every 30,000, is there anything special that you need to do with it? And finally, my third question, some of the shops that I've been to are recommending all types of additives that they want to use in the car, that makes it incredibly expensive, service bill to just keep up regular maintenance on the car. And other places say that's all meaningless. You shouldn't use it. So do you have a recommendation for a good shop up in the Sun City area, and what your opinion is on all those additives that they try to sell you?
Yeah, for sure. I got some of that, and the additive question is a little bit, it's kind of a broad statement, But honestly, 2015 Mitsubishi, I am okay with the service and the transmission every 30,000 miles. I think that needs to happen. CVTs do not necessarily have, they're not known for the longevity. There's not as many Mitsubishis on the road as there is, say, Nissans. I see a lot of Nissans that have issues with CVTs. Some of the Jeeps have CVTs in them, Patriots and things like that. And so what I'm seeing is that they don't tend to last, and that's just, I think, servicing them. But the second part of your question, should I just get a service contract? That way I don't have to buy a transmission down the way. And some service contracts are great, or extended warranties, and some are not. I've seen some that, they're, and what you find is that I've got someone in my shop, they got a bad transmission. This is why they bought the warranty. I call the place and they say, oh, well, we cover this, but we don't cover this. We cover this, but we don't cover that. And so what I look for when I purchase a service contract is what I call an exclusionary service contract, okay? They tell you what things they're not going to cover right up front. The people that give you an inclusionary contract, they give you this big, long list of stuff. These are all the things that we cover. But what you're not going to be able to see in that big list of great things we cover is the things we don't cover. And so I think they're a little bit, there's a lot of sparkle dust. And they go, oh, yeah, this thing does all this and that and the other, and smoke and mirrors. So there's some legitimate, do your homework, check the BBB. I had to do a service contract for somebody the other day, and I called these people, and they were horrible. I wouldn't send my enemies there. And I go ahead and I look them up online, and they have so many complaints at the Better Business Bureau. You got to go at least to the BBB and check them out. But, yeah, and sometimes, some cases, good thing. Some cases, not so good thing. So do your homework before you buy one. Anyhow, when we come back, we're taking the rest of the phone calls at 602-277-5827. You listen to Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do. Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions. Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers. If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere. Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee. Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio, and Matt Allen from Virginia Auto Service has decided not to come in today.
Matt.
He needed some time off, I don't know. Anyway, I'm giving him a hard time. Matt is a hard worker. Matt is always doing something to make his business better, to handle customers, that type of thing. So anyhow, the last caller, he asked a question about additives, and that was a great question that I don't think I could do a 10-week series on additives. But it's a great question, and I want to remind you, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. There's a place where you can send us emails. Those are emails. You can send questions that we'll talk about on the show. We might not necessarily respond to your email per se, but if it's a topic, because that's a great question, additives, and sometimes we forget. We use those emails to know what to talk about when the shows come up. So definitely go in there, send an email, and if you're out there, you're listening, you're saying, I would wish they would talk about this, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. By the way, while you're there, make sure to like us on Facebook. We're always looking for more friends, especially Matt, because he can't seem to come to work on Saturdays. Anyway, but we've got Kevin from I-17 Collision. He's part of our network at bumpertobumperradio.com. So if you need a good body shop, and at some point you will, just go to your little packet there in the glove box, find your insurance card, and right next to that 800 phone number for your insurance company, you write I-17 Collision, because you're going to have to remember that when the time comes. You go, what was that shop they were talking about?
Beautiful idea, Dave. I just love that.
So anyhow, we've got a whole bank of phone calls that we got to get to. We're going to go to Phoenix 2010 Town and Country. How can we help you on your Town and Country?
Yes, I have there is a band when I'm driving and I turn on the AC when it's hot, on a hot day. And sometimes it throws all the lights on the dashboard on and the engine code. So it's just on for a while. Then
I'm having trouble hearing you. Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, so you're having a problem with all the lights on the dashboard coming on?
Yes, when I turn on the AC on a hot day, when it's hot.
Okay. You turn
when it's hot, and if I'm parked and the AC is on, it is for sure that all the lights will come on the dashboard.
It's simple. Don't live somewhere hot and don't turn on the AC. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It's fireworks in cold weather.
Yes. No. I think on something like that, it's going to be really hard for us to digest that here over the air, and then with the amount of time that we have. But one of the nice things when all the lights come on, sometimes there's going to be some diagnostic trouble codes stored in the computer, and so when you take that thing to the shop, they'll be able to plug into it, and they'll be able to say, okay, so we're having maybe a voltage problem. Sometimes globally in the car, when a lot of things go wrong, hey, it may turn out to be some sort of issue. Maybe that be a ground issue. In these cars, the modern cars, there's a bunch of modules, and they all talk. And if one of them goes offline, it turns on a bunch of lights. It isn't necessarily, a major thing. It's figuring it out. That's the hard part. What's going on with it. And the heat thing plays in because when electronics get hot, that's when they mess up the most. I got a car stereo, and every time it would get hot, I plug it into my iPhone. It didn't want to work. It was because it was hot out. So
I left my iPhone in the car, and it didn't want to work. Go figure.
I know. There's a little message comes in. It says too hot. You know how to fix that? I've got a good trick for that. Take your cell phone cover off and then slide it right into the AC vent. Turn the AC on high, and that thing will cool down in like no time flat. So there's all kinds of solutions you're going to hear at Bumper to Bumper Radio. So anyhow, thanks for the call. We're going to go with Les in Phoenix. He's got a 2002 GMC Sierra. How can we help you, Les? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, good morning. I filled up the tank the other day. I was expecting it to take about 22.5 gallons, and it took almost 25, which is no big deal, except it's only got a 24-gallon tank. And the warning light that usually comes on after when there's about a gallon left hadn't come on yet. That's why I was expecting it to take not quite 23 gallons. Is that a problem with the calibration of the gas pump that I should complain?
Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking. Usually there's a sticker on the pump that says Department of Weights and Measures. Make sure that sticker's got a fresh date on it. But are you one of those guys that writes down your mileage at every oil change? Or, every fill-up? Okay.
No. I don't. But I've had this truck for 15 years. So I've got a pretty good idea of how the gas gauge is set.
You know, that was the first thing that came to my mind when you said that, was that I think we've got a little pump issue. I mean, because it's been like clockwork, you know, as far as that goes. Or maybe somehow you managed to squeeze an extra, 2 gallons into your tank, maybe. You know, and I don't know how much it changes, but things swell with the heat. Maybe the gas tank just got bigger that day. So.
Well, but the pumps are supposed to be accurate at any pressure or temperature.
Yeah, I know.
I'll check on that. Another quick question: while you have your body shop expert there, do those paint restorers do anything? Are they any good?
Which kind of restores?
The finish restorers. They'll supposedly restore the paint, the luster to the paint.
It's a temporary fix. Most of them have some sort of a wax or some silicone type product that'll make it shiny for a bit, and will help with the UV. It's basically the same idea as waxing your vehicle, where it will make it shiny and make it look better, but it's a short-term thing.
Okay. So the best way to keep your paint from getting like that is never let it get bad in the first place. Would you agree?
Yeah. Honestly, for paint care, twice a year, a good Carnauba paste wax. And fixing stuff when it happens. So
yeah, that's true. I always park under a tree, but the problem with parking under a tree is I get bird crap on my car. So it's kind of like a catch-22. I get the shade and it's easy on the paint, but then I got bird crap on my paint, and you said that's bad for paint.
Yeah, that needs to be removed immediately, because it's very acidic and it will etch it. It will cause, especially on a dark vehicle, and your OCD, it'd be a bad day.
Yeah, I'm literally leaving the radio and driving straight to the car wash. So anyhow, we're gonna squeeze in Vince in Goodyear. Looks like he's got a Ford 250 of some sort. How can we help you, Vince? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Good afternoon. It's a 96 F250 diesel. The paint job is my concern. Bought it new from when I came from Cali, retired over here in Goodyear, and I've had it ever since. But I noticed that the paint now has deteriorated, but the original paint is still good. I had it painted on the driver's side after my girls brutally bumped into it.
Okay.
And I noticed that I think they had a clear coat on that. Do they still have shops around here that don't use the coat?
Almost everything these days is a base coat, clear coat application, where almost every shop that I'm in relationship with and know would be using the same as what's on your vehicle as a base coat, clear coat. It just depends. Sometimes if you have issues where, if somebody did some work on it and that part is going or is failing before the actual manufacturer's finished, maybe they're using subpar materials or something. You need to watch out for that. But
and that's one of the things I think you guys do over there, Kevin, is some of these cars that are faded on the roof, the top of the trunk, and the top of the hood. And that's a car that you can go get the tops done.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we do that very frequently. Where the side panels are good, it's just the Arizona heat. It's its own thing. It's different than living in California, that's for sure.
Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. Derek and Camerson will get you off air.